Okie dokie. Let me get this out the way right quick here. It is a lovely looking day out there. I'll probably try to work out amongst listening to this Vosh debate with Hakeem. Oh, it's hilarious. Anyway, um, I was just reading a fascinating piece by Curtis Yarvin, aka Moldbug. He's talking about how socialism doesn't really exist and capitalism doesn't really exist. And he gives some fairly good information on that, how capitalism doesn't free market system doesn't really work. Anyway, but if I was more intelligent, I would talk about that. But since I'm not, I'll talk about something much easier. The US and food, a story of love and hate. I feel like I'm making this because I had horrible, horrible heartburn last night, which allowed me to just stay awake basically because when you get older, and depending on if you're white or not, apparently, more white people don't do seasoning or they don't like spicy food. Then white folks don't like that. I'm sorry to sound prejudiced, but I'm just, you know, maybe it is I'm too white. But anyway, awful heartburn though. And it was because we had these tacos. And of course, like I say, American tacos are this. You cook up your hamburger. You put on the in this case the old El Paso, or I can't even think of the name of the brand. I recognize the the outlook of the brand. I think it's Old El Paso though. And you put the seasoning sauce on, or the seasoning salt. Mix it in. After of course you cook the hamburger down. You do that. Boom. You get some onion. You get some cheese. You get some sour cream, lettuce and tomato. Boom. That's it. And of course, you put it all in a taco shell. Boom. Now, part of this is because I'm a fat pig. And maybe one day I will try to get down to one meal a day and how to eat to live. But my mom was genuinely worried. And she did write some things that did somewhat help, which included drinking milk. And it's one of those things where it's like, you need to take this other thing so that you can, so that you can be okay. It's like, you have to drink this other thing while you're eating. Just, and it's portion control, this and that. And it's something that I did want to talk about in some.
Crawling in my skin.
Okay, sorry about that. I forgot that. Yeah, he was coming on. Anyway, he's gonna talk for a bit more before he talks to Hakeem. Anyway, so I wanted to talk about this spurgy idea of America and food and why it's such a huge problem. America is the land of you can get a a triple burger with fries and a milkshake, but then you'll have some folks who will go, the rich folks will be over here eating, I don't know, quinoa or something like that. And and I know that the United States is not the only country that's like that. I do realize that. But the disparity to me is something that only exists in the United States to this degree, where you can, where you can just buy. And I think that the United States really created it, this idea where it's like you can sell ice cream for as cheap as possible. But then if you want to get something, I don't know, like a health, like a nature, a good nature bar, one of those granola bars, you're gonna pay like $5. And of course, like I say, this can go back to Nixon. I know that I remember hearing about this, but like some of this goes back to Nixon, saying we have a huge crisis with food production, this and that, and so some of that changed with him. But it's one of those things that I think that needs to be talked about more. And it's like that's why books like How to Eat to Live came out. Now, of course, like I say, a lot of it was religious, saying that these Christians claim to be holier than thou, and yet they eat pork all the time. As we remember reading from book one. But furthermore, it's just talking about, eat the one meal a day. You can touch a lamb. You can go to, an Orthodox Jewish, place. Nowadays, of course, you have halal markets in the United States, so you can go to those in any big city. But, it speaks to a larger idea. Where it's like, of course, like I say, I mean, the whole thing about America is, my burgers, the burgers are burgers, because of course that's what the United States is built on, right? Even though hamburgers, it says in the name, it's literally from Hamburg, it was raw meat. But it's like, I don't know, this is just ranty. I was going to try to actually say something, but it's just the relationship between the United States and food, and the fact that they know that certain elements of the population will have Pepto Bismol because because it's like, well, we got to give these piggies something to, so that they can, be able to go to work tomorrow. so they come to work on time. Their heartburn. So we give them, Pepto Bismol, and we give them Tums, this and that. I wonder what's going to happen with Tums and whatnot once the United States does become more of a Chicano nation. Will Tums and Pepto Bismol lose market share? Will there be less folks buying that? There's going to be more folks that buy jalapenos and stuff like that. I don't know. Like I said, I don't see that as a racial thing. I don't see that as an evil thing. I'm just saying that's the reality. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed that. Goodbye.